All right, welcome to your guide on meal prep. You've probably been waiting for this one for a while. If you've meal prepped before, congratulations. If it's worked for you, that's awesome. I'm going to give you some more tips and tricks on how to make it even more effective. And then if you're a beginner at meal prep, this is just going to be extremely valuable for you. So listen up, dive in. We're going to go ahead and jump in, not wasting more time. So what we're covering here is how meal prepping can help you in the first place, the literal step-by-step basics of meal prepping, even if you have a family, because I know that is what a lot of people run into as well. I've got kids and I can't spend all this time meal prepping and blah, 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 all that stuff. I'm going to show you exactly what to do. The next one is just how to track your meal preps in MyFitnessPal. If you're tracking your calories, right, exactly how to input it in there. There's a video on exactly how to do that. And then some common mistakes and pitfalls you see people making when they're meal prepping. So exactly how meal prepping can help you. It takes the guesswork out of what am I having for lunch or breakfast or dinner, etc. Right? Like a lot of times, where we run into trouble is we don't have a plan for what we're supposed to be eating for the day. So we end up eating fast food or we order in or whatever just because it's quick and easy. But if we were prepared, we wouldn't have had to make that choice that could throw us off from our goals. So it will also help you when you're tracking food because you'll already have meals ready to go in MyFitnessPal that you can just upload each day. It makes it super, super, super easy to just create a recipe that you're going to eat over and over again in MyFitnessPal because you don't have to spend all the time logging everything, right? And then another thing is that you know the calories of each meal, so you can adjust accordingly each day when tracking. So if you know that my lunch is about 550 calories, right? I know that, okay, well, if I'm going to have drinks at dinner time, I know that my lunch is going to be 550 calories, so that's going to knock me off this amount, and then I'm going to have to kind of make adjustments here and there. It can make it a lot easier when you already have it in your head and you know what's coming, right? It's all about being prepared. Preparedness is the key to success. Another thing that it does is it establishes consistency with eating whole natural foods, right? So consistently eating processed food is going to make you gain weight. They're very easy to overconsume, but we eat them because they're easy and quick. Now, if we prepare ahead of time whole natural foods, they're just as easy and quick, but they don't make you overeat and they aren't as bad for you. So in a world of being busy, right, you have to make eating healthy. You have to make it easy. You have to make it quick. And meal prepping and preparing your snacks ahead of time does just that. So we're going to go through the list here of the step-by-step basics of meal prepping, exactly what to do when meal prepping. This is the step-by-step guide, what to do from the very beginning all the way through to the end. So the first thing you want to do is start simple. Only prep for 2 or 3 days at a time and build from there. If you're brand new to it, do not prep for more than like 3 days. You will overwhelm yourself. It's going to be a lot, right? You're going to have a lot going on. Just do a couple of days at a time. That way you only have a certain amount of groceries that you're only having a certain amount of groceries that you're focusing on instead of just having everything laid out on the counter. So we'll build from the 3 days though. Number two, you want to make a plan. So write down on a sheet of paper or wherever 1, 2, or 3 meals that you want to prep for the next few days. I recommend if you're brand new, just prep 1 meal per day and then add later. So just choose breakfast or just choose lunch or just choose dinner that you're meal prepping based on whatever your day looks like. If you work a night shift or something, I would recommend that you prepare or meal prep dinner, which is probably going to be like your first meal of the day if you work at night. So, or just choose lunch, right? So, okay, I know for lunch today, I'm going to be eating this. Example, right? So for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week, I'm going to be meal prepping. I'm going to meal prep steak fajitas for lunch. Okay, it makes it very simple. Just one meal each day for lunch. Don't try to meal prep. Okay, well, I get super bored and I'm going to need to eat like 3 different things this week for lunch. Like, look, for the next 3 days, you're going to be eating the same thing for lunch. It makes it very simple. I promise. Step number 3 is to assemble your ingredients list. All right. So I've already chosen steak fajitas for lunch. Well, then ask yourself, what do I need in order to make steak fajitas? So for 3 days worth of steak fajitas, I need 12 to 16 ounces of steak. Let's change that to 16 ounces. We're not skimping on the steak around here. So 16 ounces of steak, 2 cups of uncooked rice, right? 2 to 3 bell peppers, an onion, and olive oil. Okay, very simple ingredients here that you can easily find anywhere. Okay, But then people ask me too, just in general, going away from the steak fajitas example for a second, right? Like overall, Nick, what food should I be meal prepping? Like what should I be including in my meal preps? Okay. I'm going to make it as simple as possible for you. Step number one, pick your protein first. Okay. Chicken, beef, turkey, pork, shrimp, or if you're vegan, vegetarian, whatever, go with some tofu or tempeh. Okay. But you should be choosing off of this list pretty much 95% of the time. Next up, pick your veggies. All right, so broccoli, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, green beans, and peppers. I'm going to throw them all in the same category. They're all green, so I just kind of threw them all in there. Spinach and kale, leafy vegetables, stuff like that. Or you can have mixed vegetables. Your key here, frozen. Frozen, frozen, frozen. Do not buy fresh. I mean, I guess you can buy fresh vegetables, but you have to chop it all up. You got to, cook it way longer. Frozen vegetables are already prepared. They're already chopped for you. They're already bagged for you. And all you have to do is microwave them or throw them into a pan and they're good to go. So frozen vegetables, okay? Pick your carb or your starch, right? So we're going to go with rice, grains, or quinoa. Another option is pasta. Another option is potatoes. I've seen people do like wraps and tortillas before with their meal preps, or fruit, okay? So that's the order that you want to go down. I'm going to pick my protein, then I'm going to pick my veggies, then I'm going to pick my starch. Very simple. All right. Now, you might be asking, where's the fat in all of this, right? You got protein, vegetables, and carbs. Where's the fat? Typically, the fat is going to come in your protein. Okay. So if you have chicken thighs, there has fat in it. If you have beef, that has fat in it. Typically, turkey has fat in it. Now, if you're buying just completely chicken breast, turkey breast, and you have no fat in there, cook it with some olive oil or some butter or something, okay? But if it's already a fatty piece of meat, like salmon or pork chops or turkey, turkey, like you don't need extra fat in there. It's coming in the protein, okay? All right, moving on. So the next step after you assemble your ingredients list, okay, I know for my meal preps this week, these are the ingredients I need right here. So what's the next step? I'm going to head to the grocery store if needed. Okay, so before the day of prep, make sure that you have all the ingredients in your pantry and or fridge, right? So do an audit of your pantry, of your fridge to see what ingredients from your list you don't have. And then for all the ingredients you don't have, go to the store and buy them. So let's say for your steak fajitas, you already have steak, you have rice, but you don't have any peppers and you don't have any onions. So what you do is you go to the store and you need to get peppers and onions, right? If you had none of it in your house, then you have to go to the store and you have to get all of it. My advice to you is to do this audit of your kitchen, of your ingredients first, right? And then figure out, okay, well, I've already have X, Y, and Z, so I'm going to make a meal prep based on what I already have. Or you can just say, nope, I want to have this for lunch, so I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to buy this, okay? So assemble your list and then go to the grocery store and acquire all of the ingredients needed to make that. Stick to your list when you're into the grocery store. Do not go in there and start buying cereal and donuts and all that crap, right? Stick to your list when you go in. You're on a mission when you go in to get meal prep ingredients, and that is it. Okay? When it comes to grocery shopping, the best time to shop is going to be early in the morning or late at night. Go when nobody else is there. That way you can take your time. You can look at the ingredients. You can check things out. Okay? Do not wait until Sunday to go to the store, because most people are going to meal prep on Sunday. Do not go on Sunday. Don't wait. Go beforehand. Make sure you've got everything on hand. That way, when Sunday rolls around, you're already prepared. You don't have to run around and panic. Okay? Another thing you want to do is when you're going to the grocery store, whenever you're planning to do that, put the exact time in your calendar that you're going to go grocery shopping. So if you're planning on going grocery shopping Saturday morning at 9 a.m., right, you're going to put in your calendar Saturday morning, 9 a.m. grocery shop. That way nothing can get overloaded with it. Nothing can get moved around. You don't have to panic. You don't have to reschedule it. It's in there. Okay, make it happen. The next step is to decide specifically when you are going to meal prep. Same thing, you're going to put it on your calendar. So after you've successfully acquired all the necessary ingredients in your house, decide the exact day and time you're going to be meal prepping. I do recommend you prep on Sunday because meals will be freshest for the week and you have more time to do it on Sunday. It's just the way that it is, okay? But if you're not on Sunday, that's fine. Still block off the exact day and time on your calendar when you'll be meal prepping. Do not book over it. Allow yourself at least an hour and a half. If you like to take your time and drink some wine and put on some music while you're meal prepping, then allow yourself some 2 hours for that, okay? But put it on your calendar. If Sunday is not available, look at your calendar for an open time and fill it with meal prep. It is important to put it in your calendar so that you know when it's happening and it's not up for guess. Oh, yeah, well, I guess I can meal prep at this time. No, take the guesswork out of it, put it in the calendar. The next step is an important one that often gets skipped, but it's necessary. Tell everyone in your house that you will be prepping on this day at this time, and to stay out of your way when you're meal prepping. Say, I'm going to be in the kitchen from this time to this time, and you better not be there. Now, if you're like, if you're not like me and you don't need that kitchen space and you're okay with having some people in there, that's another thing. But I found it's way more useful if you're able to just do what you need to do and you don't have any distractions. All right. So have the conversation with your family, with the people in your household, and say, look, I'm going to need the kitchen from this time to this time. And that's my only request. Right. But again, joking aside, having a conversation with your spouse and your kids or whoever's in your household at the time you need the kitchen is very important. Set the expectation before you start so they aren't surprised when you're in the kitchen and you're meal prepping. They're like, what the heck is mom doing? Right? If they already know, you've already told them, then they're not going to be like, what the heck? Like, why is she in there? I'm going to go bother her or whatever. You already said, this is mom time. I need time in the kitchen from this time to this time. They know, they have the expectation. All right. So the next step is to get down and dirty and get cooking. All right. My favorite method, what has worked so well for clients and has really transformed the meal prep game for a lot of people, is just stir fry your food. Okay. So for example, instead of having your chicken baking in the oven while your rice is boiling on the stove and your vegetables are in the microwave or pan or whatever, cook everything in one pan at one time. That way you can season everything at one time. That way everything cooks together and the flavors kind of mold. And you don't have 17 different things going on at once. You just have one pan, one pot to worry about, and that's it. Makes cleanup very easy, and it doesn't. You don't have to use an oven and a stove and a microwave and stuff. It simplifies things a lot. So this is how you would do that. Okay. So what you would do is you would get your chicken. You would kind of set out all your ingredients. That's another thing with meal prep, right? You want to set out all of your ingredients. So for this example, I'm going for something very simple with chicken, rice, and broccoli. Very simple, very classic meal prep. Okay. So for example, I've got my bag of frozen broccoli out, bags of frozen broccoli out. I've got my chicken breast out, and I've got my rice out. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up my chicken. I'm going to season it. Then I'm going to throw it in a frying pan on the stove, right? Then I'm going to empty my bag of frozen vegetables into the pan with the chicken, same pan, okay? I'm going to make sure my rice is boiling at the same time that they're cooking. So this is the only time you might have to use two different pans, right? When you're cooking rice separately, okay? Now what you're going to do is you're going to cook the rice separately and toss it in the same pan as the chicken and the broccoli after it's done cooking, okay? Then you're going to season all of it at one time. So add some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and chili powder, whatever else you want to put in there. All right. And once it's all cooked, everything is together. You got your chicken, your broccoli, and your rice all mixed up. Everything is stir fried, all that good stuff. Everything is cooked. Everything is thawed. Everything is good to go. Everything's nice and flavorful. All right. You're going to turn off the stove. And then you're going to separate it out of the pan into your Tupperware containers. So you should have 3 or 4 cut Tupperware containers, however much is going to make it, okay? And empty it out of the pan into the containers. What does this do? One, you don't have to buy those dumb portioned out meal prep containers that look stupid in my opinion, and you can't put anything else in them. All right, you can buy just normal Tupperware, and you can use it that way because everything's mixed together. It's not all portioned out like that. It's all just mixed, okay? So you're saving time in cooking by cooking in one pan, and you don't have as much to clean up. Food is also more interesting when it's all mixed up. It's a little boring if it's separated out, in my opinion, right? It looks very just bland if you have chicken and rice and broccoli. But if you got it all mixed up together and it's all sliced and chopped and it's all flavored and seasoned together, it's way more interesting that way. That's just my opinion, right? After you're done, put everything in the fridge and you're good to go. Done. Easy. Okay? Repeat the process before you are out of meal preps, meaning when you have like one container left in the fridge, you should know I need to meal prep now. Do not wait until you have no more meal preps left to meal prep again, because then guess what? You have one day where you don't have anything. So you need to make sure you have stuff ready to go before you run out. Very important. How to track your meal preps in MyFitnessPal. I've made a video, it's about 5 minutes long, on exactly how to input a meal prep recipe into MyFitnessPal to make it extremely easy to track this each day. Watch this separately, okay? And then the last little bit here is just some common mistakes and pitfalls that we see a lot when it comes to meal prepping, okay? One is not making a plan of ingredients or meals before you go grocery shopping. You just go to the store and you buy whatever you want to buy or whatever, and then you come home and you kind of make do with whatever you have. Walk into the store with a plan. Just like when you walk into the gym, you have a plan. You don't just walk around and lollygag and run around and just kind of look at stuff, right? You have a plan and you're there for a reason. The same thing applies to the grocery store, okay? Another thing is you don't have the conversation with your family about expectations. You have to have the conversation with your family about what you expect of them when you are meal prepping. Okay? That way you can do what you need to do. You can take that time for yourself. That's so important. All right? And they know what's up. Another thing is in the beginning, if you're new to meal prep, is you meal prep for too many days at one time and you get overwhelmed. So if you're trying to meal prep for 5, 6, 7 days, it's too much. It's too much food going on at one time. It's a lot. Just stick with 3 days in the beginning and go from there. Okay. Another thing is, like what I just went over a second ago, is letting your meal preps run out before you start prepping again. Start prepping before you're out. And the last one is you try it once and then you give up. You try it once, you say, that was a lot, and you give up. You will get better at it, I promise. But if you follow the steps that I've gone through, it should not be as difficult as it may seem. I promise you. So follow these steps. Let me know if this is helpful, and whatever questions you have, I can help you and answer them and hopefully make meal prepping a breeze for you.